Hello, church family. I recently read a book about the key to success. According to this book, people respond to life's challenges in one of four ways. They'll retreat, they'll do nothing, they'll make an average effort, or they'll take massive action. The primary ingredient to success, according to this book, is to always take massive action. Instead of retreating when times get tough, advance and expand your endeavors. Average effort yields average results, and that is not success. To succeed, one must take massive action, to be all in for whatever it is you are trying to accomplish. The author of this book was in sales, so he would say if those around you make 30 calls a day, you need to make 300. If you're like me, you probably get tired just thinking about that much activity. The first thing I thought was that being this active in every area of my life might leave no time for God. Is this what God wants for me, and what can I learn from this about how to be more faithful? I wondered, is this principle for success supported by the Bible? Ultimately, I believe it is. In fact, Solomon counsels us in Ecclesiastes 9 verse 10, "Whatever your hand finds to do, do it with your might, for there is no work or device or knowledge or wisdom in the grave where you are going." Doing something with our might is much more than just doing something. In 1 Corinthians chapter 9, Paul gives us the analogy of running a race to win it. This summer, my family watched some of the Olympic races. There were several athletes who broke either their own personal records, Olympic records, or even world records. If you've ever watched an Olympic athlete as they compete, it's very obvious they're giving their all and then some. Their competitors are not average, so an average effort is almost guaranteed failure. You don't win by making an average effort or by doing average work. You know, our adversary is not ordinary either, so it will take extraordinary effort to overcome him. In 2 Kings chapter 13, there is the story of Elisha, who commanded Joash to strike the ground with his arrows. He struck the ground 3 times. That seemed like a reasonable round number to Joash. But Elisha rebuked him, saying he should have struck the ground 5 or 6 times. By only striking 3 times, he would not do enough damage to Syria to destroy them for good. Joash should not have stopped when he thought he was done, but kept going until he knew for sure he was done, or when he was told to stop. Then, in the parable of the talents found in Matthew 25, it was the 2 stewards who doubled their master's assets that were commended. The servant that hid his master's money, a seemingly safe thing to do but essentially doing nothing with it, was rebuked for not even putting forth an average effort by giving it to the money changers where he could have earned interest. Our Master has given each of us certain skills and a job to do. He's very pleased when we go above and beyond ordinary. When comparing the amount of effort I've put into my life to the massive effort I see put forth by Olympic athletes and people like Steve Jobs or Elon Musk, I must admit that while I may feel comfortable and may even think I'm well above some 50th percentile mark, in the grand scheme of things, I'm probably much closer to average. God asks us to run the race to win it. Thank God the race isn't over yet. I'd like to challenge you this week to examine your life. Where do you need to take not just action, but massive action, the type of action it takes to win? Perhaps it's in your relationship with your spouse or child or an old friend. Maybe you need to spend more time in your devotions, studying more and praying more. It could be in reaching out to the lost souls around you. When Jesus comes again, how embarrassing would it be to be rebuked for not taking enough action? Perhaps, like me, you may be thinking, you don't have it in you anymore for all this massive action. Hold on to the promise that you can do all things through Christ who gives you strength. Start in one area of your life, and when you've improved in that area of your life, move on to another. My prayer for you this week is that you may be found faithful in whatever it is that God has asked you to do. Have a blessed week.